breathing is quite important, and I would imagine you guys are all here today because you've noticed or felt that it is quite an important aspect of life itself, and it's quite important to recognize that and just to realize that without the breath we literally die. It's as simple as that. We are going to die, and so you breathe about 25,000 breaths a day, and the way you breathe is the way you carry your body. The way you breathe is the way that you hold yourself. And so if you breathe in a way that is shallow, your body physically takes on a posture and that represents that. And so it is quite important just to be aware of what exactly it is that we're doing. The breath is essentially us taking in oxygen. If we're in this position all the time, we are essentially restricting the oxygen to our organs, to our brain, to our legs, our muscles, tissues, lymph, all of that. No wonder we have organ failure. No wonder we actually have high blood pressure. No wonder we actually have cholesterol, because there's no oxygen going to the body. Oxygen is the fuel of life. To lose weight, you need to breathe properly. You can just breathe in a particular way and lose weight, because when you take in oxygen, you increase in the body with that, and as a result it burns the fat or so forth of this. So just the way you breathe is important. Also, when you breathe into the belly, what happens is you're literally giving yourself a massage using the diaphragm, and that is something that we call visceral motility. That is, the organs move when you breathe. When your organs move, you are essentially loosening them up. Initially, when we think about our organs, we think it's fixated or stuck. Everything is made to move. And so when you breathe in the belly, you start to get those organs moving. And when that happens, you increase the oxygen to those areas, you increase movement, which allows you to be less restricted in your shoulders, in your neck. I had a patient come in, she had a fixated or stiff or stuck diaphragm. I released the diaphragm. She had a shoulder problem. I released the diaphragm, and she was able to move. She had no longer pain in her shoulder, and she actually did a competition, a golfing competition. She was the only female, and she won that competition just because I released the diaphragm, which is the essence of breathing, how we breathe. So breathing is extremely important. It is that massages the organs, it releases it, and it gets you to move, because that's what life is about. It's about movement. You breathe in, you hold your breath. That holding of the breath is what actually takes you closer to death. And so you never want to breathe and hold. You always want, it should be like a flow, a cycle. You breathe in, you breathe out. You breathe in, you breathe out. That is what it's supposed to be. And so today, we're going to give you that experience of it. We're going to show you how exactly that should feel. And so when you walk out these doors, because you've tasted it, because you've tasted the sweetness of breathing, you can no longer breathe the same again. Or you will, and then you'll feel the destruction of poor breathing. So that's all what it's about. There's no right and wrong, firstly. When you are being chased by a lion, I hope that you breathe in your chest, because what happens is there are nerve receptors on above the lung that activates your sympathetic nervous system. That's the fight and flight. So best you should activate that nervous system when you're getting chased. So that's the right thing, the way to breathe. The issue is when you are in that fight and flight when you're not supposed to be. That is the trick. And so when I'm supposed to be relaxed, I'm actually fighting life for some reason. And so the trick is to be able to differentiate being attacked by a lion in real life and realizing that the lion in my head is actually not there to attack me. It's a manifestation of our own perception, of our own thinking. And so that's essentially the idea behind it. It's to realize, okay, I'm in control. I can take control of the way that I breathe, meaning I can take control of the way that I feel, because your emotions are directly linked to your breath. You see, as you breathe into certain lobes of the lung, it releases and activates hormones that is linked to emotion. If you breathe quite deep into the lower part of the lung, that is connected to the relaxation, digestion part, and you feel calm, you feel peaceful, you feel as if you're able to give yourself to the world. When you breathe slightly higher up, you are in that, I want to run away because I feel fearful. Again, there's a moment for that. But we want to be able to differentiate, when do I choose to be in this moment, and when do I choose to be in that relaxed, digestive state. And so the power has always been with you guys. It is a choice. And so when we begin to start breathing consciously today, are you regaining your strength? Are you regaining your power to say, I'm no longer a slave to the conditions of the world. I'm no longer going with the normacy of the world. I'm creating my own norm, and that is to be happy.